Okay. Yeah, just like that. So, just in case if you're putting your name, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, I will advise you join so that you can confirm if you get it, because so we'll be sharing it after the webinar. So we can't share it now. So after the webinar, we will share it in the WhatsApp group after the webinar, but we'll have to capture everybody that dropped their number. So the first 100 will be getting airtime or data depending on what you want. Okay, you're here, that's fine. Please, if you're just joining us, type in your number, your network, whether it's airtime or data that you want. Eche. Okay, now you're here. I think we should start because we don't have time. Okay. Onyinye, my colleague, is on standby, so she'll be collecting the numbers while I start with the webinar. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ulomo. Welcome to our 5th webinar and our first webinar for 2024. So today we'll be looking at breaking barriers, navigating non-code tech careers in profession in 2024. But before we start, I would like to introduce myself. Just for information, I'm recording this session, so I'm recording it, so I will put it out when we are done. So you don't have to bother yourself about anything. I'll put the link out in the WhatsApp group, so the session is recorded. I just have to put it out there. Yeah, my name is Ulomo Kini. Most of you who are joining us for the, who have joined us before already know who I am. But if you are joining us for the first time, I am Ulomo Kini. I am a software engineer. I'm specialized in building enterprise application with ASP.NET, C#, Java. Recently, I delved into Node.js and React. I've been coding since 2012 professionally. So that's over 10 years now. And it's been fun. So I'm also delving into solution architects. It's all about building sustainable and maintainable application. And I just completed my master's in advanced computer science in Northumbria University, Newcastle. And I'm also the founder of Vision Blink. And we've been doing this for like a year now. So this is our 5th webinar. What is Vision Blink? What do we do? Vision Blink is a community. Basically, we help in empowering young people in tech industry, help them transition into tech. We do that through online webinar, just like we are doing today, through mentoring sessions, one-on-one mentoring session. We have mentees that we work with. We also do online trainings. Currently, we've done like 2 online training, free training on UI UX, and we intend to do more. We also started our Vision Blink Tech Innovator Challenge. We did that last quarter of last year. We conducted some in, the teen edition we did in Transekulu Girls Secondary School in Enugu, while the youth edition we conducted that with some universities, ESUT, IMT, UNN, all of them in Enugu, but we hope to expand by God's grace, to accommodate other universities. And what is this Tech Innovator Challenge all about? We bring in young people, most especially students. We give them a problem, give them categories. We tell them to propose a digital solution to solve that problem. So that is what this Tech Innovator Challenge is all about. So the last competition we had like 3 winners. The most outstanding participant went away with a laptop. The group that took first, they won 200K, second 150, and third 100K. So we hope to do more, and we hope to do better by the end of the year. We hope to do the second edition of that competition. Okay, before I invite the speakers, I would like to talk through this because I kind of get this question regularly, and I'll just do this like in 1 or 2 minutes. Why will you want to? Okay, somebody is raising her hand. Please, whatever question you have to ask, it will be at the end of the session. I'll actually explain how the session will go. Let me just talk through this first. So why will you want to transition to tech? Somebody asked me a funny question yesterday. She asked me, what is technology? What is tech? So I said, basically tech is technology or information technology. So why would you want to transition to tech? You agree with me that most people, their businesses, they're automating it now. Why? Because they want to be more productive. They want to achieve more results. They want to, they want to be more productive. For instance, banks, they're automating their system. Please, if you join us, mute yourself. Okay, yeah. Like I was saying, most organizations are automating their processes now. And recently I heard in the news that that's immigration office in Nigeria, that they will start capturing passports online. I don't know if they've started. I don't know. I think they've started. I don't know. I'm not sure. But when I heard it, I was actually happy, because if you've gone to that immigration office, especially the ones in Abuja and Lagos, the queue there, honestly, you wouldn't want to do your passport. You would just want to go back. So, but because of that, many organizations are automating their process, making things very, very faster. And now, organizations are automating their process. What does that mean? That means they need, more tech professionals. They need people that will build the system. They need people that will manage the people that are building the system. They need people that will secure the system. They need people that will manage the data in the system. So it's a whole lot. So why would you want to transition into tech? Because there is high demand for tech professionals. Even if you check online, if you check platforms like Indeed, if you check platforms like Jobberman, you will see that the high demand for tech professionals is really much. So you have, there is job opportunities, there is diversity of roles. We have roles that require coding, roles that don't require coding. So it's a whole lot. It's something that you have to research on your own and still take a decision on which career path you want to transition to. You can work remotely. Since 2017, I've been working remotely. And, it doesn't depend if you study computer science. Unlike some courses like medicine, pharmacy, you have to study that in the university to practice, but it's not tech. you must not, you must not study computer science for you to have a career in tech. It's just like any skill you can acquire. It depends on your own determination, what you want to do, how determined you are for you to transition swiftly. And it also requires constant learning, innovation, and the salaries are very competitive. I actually put this salary here last because, some people make that mistake because they want to transition, because they want to earn high, which is quite funny. So you have to acquire the skill first before you start thinking of earning that high amount of salary. Yeah. Yes, if you compare the salaries of tech professionals with other professions, yes, they earn high, but you have to do the work first before you earn high. So yeah, that's basically what I would like to talk about before I invite the speakers. So unlike our previous webinars, what we normally do is that we invite the speakers, they give us a lecture, talk us through some topics and all, but this one is going to be very different. This one is going to be sort of a conversation, and I will drive the conversation. First, I will ask them some questions. I have like 7 questions here with me. I don't know if we are going to go through all of them, but I would at least ask them like 5 of the questions. Then when they are done answering the questions, the audience can now ask them their questions. So we have a business analyst here in the building. We have an IT project manager. We have a technical product owner. So we have like 3 different career paths here. So you can ask them all your questions. And these 3 career paths, I really don't know much about them. So they will tell us their story themselves. Even though I've worked with, them in one way or the other, but it's their story to tell. So I will invite them first to introduce themselves and, give us kind of why you introduce yourself. So Eche, Chisom, and Gigi. So when you introduce yourself, please, I would like you to kind of share your story with us, briefly, how you transition. Did you just start as a project manager, as a business analyst, or did you start somewhere before you are here now, But please introduce yourself, tell us what you do, where you are, just let us know you better. So from now, I will shut up my mouth while they continue. Yeah, Eche. Okay, Eche will go first. After Eche, Chisom will go, then Gigi will go. Yeah. You're mute. Eche, you're mute. Eche, you're... Okay.
I've unmuted myself. I feel like it's a setup to put me first because Chidi would have been best to go first. Chidi is very vocal. But I'll
set me up.
Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Eche. Eche is short for Echizunachuku. And I'm an IT project manager. So I started out as a programmer. I don't know how useful that is to you because I don't know if there's anyone here that is, thank you, Ruth. If there's anyone here that's a dev and is trying to transition into project management. But, starting out as a dev, I remember when I was learning how to use PHP, learning how to use JavaScript, Angular, Node.js, and the rest. And it was not for me because I found it really boring and frustrating. God did not bless me with the kind of patience that the likes of Uloma are blessed with. So yeah, I just knew that it wasn't for me, and I needed to sort of look for a part of tech that I would fit into properly. Over time, I tried different aspects of tech. I did tech support for a bit. What did I not do? I even did digital marketing at a point because I was trying to find the part of tech where I would sort of like fit into holistically. And I remember that I was speaking to a friend of mine one time, and I was trying to increase my income at that point because I didn't like what I was doing or I didn't like how much I was earning. And then there was a PM role that came out, and I remember him saying to me, "Eche, apply." And I was like, Femi, thank you. And I remember him saying to me, Eche, apply. And I was like, apply for a PM role. I've not done project management before. I just felt like I wasn't qualified because when you look at job descriptions and it's like they're trying to intimidate you from the outside. That's what I felt when I looked at the job ad. And so my friend and I, we sat down and we started to go through all of my experiences. And that's the problem. I had like, at that point, because I started working from when I was in school, at that point, I already had, say, almost 10 years of experience, yes, from my 100 level till that point, because this was like 5 years post-grad. And we started to go through all of what I had done. And we noticed that there was a pattern. I had managed a lot of tech projects. And I also sat down to do a bit of introspection, and then I realized that actually what I've been looking for is that I wanted to sort of bridge the gap between, the tech part, the people like them Uloma who are on the back end. I wanted to be on the front end to sort of be able to communicate with them in a language that they understand. Because what you find in the business space is that people that speak tech don't really know how to communicate. And those who, the project managers, those who are on the forefront communicating, don't even understand what the requirements are. And so they go to a client and say, we can do this, and come back to the, to the devs. And the devs will be like, what did you promise? How do you want to do this? This is not our stack. This is not what we do. So I wanted to bridge that gap. And that's how I started. Have I covered everything? Yeah, that's what I do now. So at the moment, my job title is IT development manager. So I have worked out, I moved to the UK for my master's, and then I started working after my master's. I've worked where I am for almost a year now. Uloma, is that everything? Have I covered everything? I think so.
Yeah, you've covered almost everything. I think the next question you will tell us about being a project manager, but let's hear from Gigi. Gigi.
All right.
Hello, everyone. So I feel like I'm at a disadvantage because people call me different things. So Ulama just called me Gigi, but Gigi is for those who know me from the inside. My name is actually Chidiogo. Most people call me Chidi. So I'm a product owner, and my experience was that I had a background in engineering, electrical engineering to be specific. So I didn't know anything about tech. I kind of stumbled upon tech, and this is my story. So I graduated with electrical engineering. I worked in a factory. Those of you that drink Coca-Cola in Nigeria, I'm sure you've heard of MBC, and that was where I was working. I was literally like fixing machines, carrying toolbox, jumping conveyor lines, doing lubrication, all that good stuff. But later on, I decided that, well, not the kind of engineering I was doing wasn't directly linked to tech, because this was electromechanical. But there's a piece of electrical engineering that is related to tech, because when you start doing things like automation, with automation, you kind of write code. You write some kind of code with automation. So that's related to tech. But then after that experience working in engineering, I remember there was always friction between the managers and the engineering team, because the engineering team wants the machines to keep running, and then the managers want the engineer and the machines to keep running, but the engineering team is always advocating that the machines need to go down for maintenance or some kind of fixes. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why there was always that loggerhead between the management and the engineering team. So I decided to do a master's program in engineering and management, but I didn't find a course that suited me. So the course I ended up doing was electrical engineering and entrepreneurship. So that was the closest I could find. And during that course, I was taught about commercializing technologies. So while studying that course, I had the opportunity to do an internship at a company. And it so happened that the company I was going to do my internship with was a tech company. And I remember the director of the company saying, well, you're studying how to commercialize technologies. Well, we have this new technology that we want to take to market. Come and help us do that. And that was how I started in tech. And for the first time, I started working with developers, with designers, with marketing people in tech, with sales, with project managers in tech. And I didn't even really realize what I was doing then. there was no fancy name like product management then or product ownership. What I was doing, I called myself project support. So I did that for a bit. And with time, when I graduated, the company kept me on. And that was when I started managing a team of my own, not necessarily managing, but I started working with a team of my own to develop a CRM system. So we built the CRM system from scratch because when I was interning, we were thinking about who is this product going to be for? What problem is it going to be solving? Who are going to be the customers? How much are we going to price it? What's the best way to take it to market? How do we brand it when we take it to market? Those kinds of things. And it was when I started doing my own research and looking at the work other people were doing to help me do my own work better, I didn't realize that what I was doing was actually product management. And that was how I came into product management. And over the years, because the CRM system we developed at that company was for membership organizations and charities. And then over the years, have found myself working on CRM systems for membership organizations and charities. Currently, I'm building my own products as my own company. I'm a founder. My company is called Ahiam. We do food delivery. So not just food delivery, but basically we deliver Afro-Caribbean products to people within the UK. So it's giving people within the UK that opportunity to experience the Afro-Caribbean products. So what I say I do is that my company digitizes your local Afro-Caribbean market. So you know how you would have Balogun market. So that experience, people can't go to Lagos to experience Balogun market. So we bring that experience to them. And we're only able to do this with the help of technology. So building that platform and building that environment where people can go and access Afro-Caribbean products, that's what I'm currently doing. But my experience building products with different companies has helped me do that. So I just saw someone ask what a CRM system is. So a CRM is called, the full meaning of a CRM is a customer relationship management system. What it is basically is a database where you store information about your customers or people who you interact with. So most times, sales teams that use it. So I don't know if anybody has heard of Salesforce. Salesforce is one of the popular CRM systems around. Yes. So, but in that organization I was working with, we were building a CRM system particularly tailored to membership organizations and charities. So the way membership organizations and charities use CRM system is a bit different to the way big companies and organizations use CRMs like Salesforce. So those are they are bigger CRM systems, but the ones I worked with were smaller CRM systems. So yeah, so that's my story. And yeah, my story is more of stumbling into tech than entering into tech. So yeah, that's me.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Gidi. Chidi and Chidiogo. Okay, Chisom, let's hear from you. Tell us your story.
Okay, thank you, Lama. Or is it Cynthia? I don't know more than I will say. My name is Chisom Osemeke. I'm a senior business systems analyst with up to 10 years of experience in IT space. But I started my career as an application support analyst with a company called Telnet in Nigeria, but also an IT firm. So the support we were actually rendering, like my team was rendering support to the financial institutions, the bank, on an application called Swift. So they usually use Swift for payments, both local payments and international fund transfers. And for me, as a core IT person, like the analyst, my support goes like this: installations of the applications, upgrades of the applications, and overall maintenance of the application. Just tell me what you want. Oh, we have this project that we want to do. We have this updates that we want to make. I'll just come and have that discussion with the IT team and sometimes with the business teams. And after Telnet, I also moved to Wema Bank PLC. I continued the support on the same Swift applications and a few other applications that my team was also handling. So this experience kind of gave me that client to provide a kind of relationship with the business users and also with the core IT people. When I was in Telnet, we were also doing things like, continuous writing of certifications so that the banks will kind of trust us that we are able to manage the applications. So to retain that partnership with the Swift Belgium, we need to keep writing certification exams. And this was kind of what made me to know that, oh, okay, that's something I have to really going to, and most times I see myself in Ghana writing exams and stuff like that. So when I got to Wema Bank, like I said, I continued the same kind of support, and I handled projects. It exposed me to that kind of project management life cycle. In as much as I wasn't a business analyst then, I wasn't documenting, but it was more like, oh, the application is down. Oh, we have this requirement. Can you implement it for us? But we always have that team, the business process engineering team, that will be the ones that would document the requirements, kind of go through the whole project life cycle, right? So my kind of core role then was to implement, configure, upgrade, whatever you want on the system and maintain the system. But coming to Canada, I looked at application support, and I found out that you have to have that coding experience, and I wasn't cut out for that. Having a family, I told myself, no, not at this age. So I looked at something related, and that was how I found business systems analysis interesting, and I delved into it, and I would say I'm enjoying it. So here I am doing the documentation aspect of the project lifecycle. Yeah, so that's my story. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. I am motivated. Thank you very much, Sisom, Gigi, and Eche. Okay, now you guys have, told us about your journey and how you guys evolved to where you are now. Please, I want to apologize. After I finished speaking, I forgot to move the slide from. So each time they are talking, I'll remember to move the slide to their profile. Please, I'm sorry about that. And I saw people that were asking for Gigi's face. Gigi, please, next time you want to talk, show us your face, please. We want to see your fine face. So now, my second question is, can you give us a brief explanation about your role and what your day-to-day activities, looks like, for as a BA, as a project manager, and as a product owner. What do you really do? If you get into the office, what is your day-to-day activity like? We really want to know. We'll start with Gigi.
How did it get to me so fast?
Going first this time, Chidi.
Okay, so really, does it make any difference if I show my face or not?
They want to see you.
Look at her face there. It's already there.
Okay, I'll put on my camera. So can you see me now? Are you all happy? Are you pleased?
Yes, it's been a while.
Yes.
It's nice to see your face again.
Yeah. Okay, so day to day as a product manager, first thing you need to know is that no 2 days are the same. But I would explain to you what the role of a product manager is, and it would help you to understand why the job is different every day. So the role of a product manager is to ensure the success of the product. And what that means is that you need to come up with a product that solves a problem for your customers. And anything that is required to make that product succeed is what you're going to do. So first things first, first of all, before your product comes to life, you need to determine who are your customers, who you're going to be serving. So for us, we're serving membership organizations and charities. So what problems are membership organizations and charities trying to solve with a CRM system? Basically, what they're trying to do is, for membership organizations, they want to get in more members, they want to retain those members, and they want to be able to collect annual dues from them. So it means that whatever products you're building should be able to capture information from either their website or wherever, and then from the website or wherever, whatever form that they are using, and capture it into their CRM system. And whenever they want that information, they should be able to retrieve the information back from their CRM system to the website or wherever they want that information stored. They also need to be able to capture payments. They also need to be able to communicate with people, because to retain your members, you need to be in constant communication with them. You need to engage them. So it's important that you're able to communicate with people through your CRM system. So when you've defined what problems you're going to be solving with that product, you then need to then go out and build out those features. So for those first two activities, which is where you hear HS saying something like capturing requirements. So capturing requirements, the process of capturing requirements, what you're trying to achieve with that is to ensure that whatever you're building solves the problem for your customer.
Mhm.
So you go to your customers, you ask them what their problems are and what they would require at the end of the day for that product. So that's the process of capturing requirements, and that's how you know what to build. So for me, my day at work could be coming in to sit with clients to discuss what their requirements are going to be, to understand what the problem they are facing is going to be. Another day, I could come into work and see that the requirements have been captured. Some companies have business analysts. Okay, so like Chisom is a business analyst. So she would take those requirements, document them, and then present them to the development team. So I could go in and work with the development team to see like those requirements, are they possible? Is this something we can build? And then sometimes then prioritize the tasks that we're going to be working on, the features we're going to be working on. Because most times clients have lots of requirements. They'll tell you that they want the system to do this. In fact, they want the system to be using AI to generate everything they want to generate in this life. Some people can even tell you that they want immediately they come to the system. If they just look at the system will open it to create mails and start sending out invitations to people. So it's like people have all sorts of ridiculous requirements. But then you need to be able to, as product owner, you need to be able to prioritize what is important to them. So based on the problems they have, you don't have to go and sit down sometimes and say, okay, these are the important features. And most times, because you're working with an organization who owns the product, you need to ensure that you're sitting down with the stakeholders within that organization. So it means that your job, you're dealing with not just the teams that are developing the app, you also make sure that you're dealing with the clients, and you're also dealing with the stakeholders, the top directors, the CEOs, and managers at your own company, because you need to ensure that the vision that the company has for the product aligns with the solutions you're providing for your clients. So sometimes I would come into work and I have to sit down with the CEO or the manager who's in charge of that product to figure out, okay, based on the vision you have for this product, based on the problems that the clients say they have, what features do we need to be prioritizing now? And then we prioritize those features. After those features have then been prioritized, then that's what we'll take back to the development team and say, this is what we need to be building. So another day I come into the office, I might not be working with the CEO or the manager. I might not be working with the development team to say, okay, so what have we developed so far? Can you do a demo for me? Can I see what we've done? Does it solve the problem the customer mentioned? So yes, there's just a whole lot. Some other days I'm working with the marketing department or the sales department, because sometimes this marketing departments, they can go and tell customers that that this CRM system that we built, in fact, it can do everything, anything they want. In fact, it's not even just for charities and membership organizations, that big organizations can use it. So most times I need to go and speak with marketing team to make sure that whatever they are communicating to customers is what we've actually built, and they're not going to tell them ridiculous things that we cannot do. Same thing too with sitting down with the salespeople, because the salespeople today will be interacting with customers and potential customers. So I need to sit down with them, see what they've written as their sales pitch, and make sure that it's something that our system does as well. On other days, I may be writing documentation for the product in terms of how to use the product, or even creating videos. I remember there was this project we worked with. Actually, I can't remember if you worked with me on that project, but we had to create videos.
Was it the one that me, you, and Sarah worked on for member base?
Yes, for member base, yes. So where we had to create videos. So yes, so as a product manager, you wear many hats. Whatever is required to sell that product and get it to succeed in the market, you're going to have to do it. Sometimes you're analyzing data. You're looking at the numbers, how are people, customers using it, what's the customer behavior, and so that you can come back and tell people, your developers, that if the customers don't like the way you've built this, they're not able to use it, and maybe you need to tweak something and change the way it has been made. So it's just really multifaceted, and you just never know. But the good thing is that you can be assured that there's no boring day at work. So yeah, that's the life of a product manager.
You know, Gigi, listening to you now, even though I've worked with product managers, but listening to you now, I didn't know people have this lots of work to do, because then I'll just be, what are these ones doing?
You will never understand. You're a back-end person.
I didn't know you will have lots of. It's really interesting to listen to this and actually learn, because You are really doing a lot, to be very
It
honest,
is a lot of
because
work.
you're everywhere.
Yeah, you're everywhere.
Yeah. Now I'll have to move to Eche. Actually, project managers, personally, I don't like them because they give us headache. So, even though Eche never gave me headache anyway, she's a nice project manager. So Eche, you can tell us what your day-to-day activities like, how you people punish developers, and give us headache.
Um, So I like to say that I'm a very personable or approachable project manager, and the way that I manage my team is very different from the way that most project managers would manage, because I think that, well, in my experience, to get the best out of your team, you need to you need to get them to like you, and you need to get them to be on some. So it's a balance between having some sort of rapport with them, and then being able to having them respect you enough to be able to say, I need this thing done, and then it will be delivered on time. But yeah, let's talk about a day-to-day in my life. Like Chidi said, yeah, it's really different. It's really different. But one thing that's constant is that my calendar is fully packed. Like literally, in a day I could have up to 5 meetings. Up to 5 meetings between 8:30. In fact, like tomorrow, I have a meeting at 8:30 on the dot, and then there's one at 10, and then I think there's another one at 11, and then so it's literally meetings after meetings after meetings, and then you're supposed to action the things that come out of these meetings. So the first thing is the first part of my job is engaging with stakeholders. So it could be that there's a change request, or there's a new project that you need to work on, and so at that point the client will come and say, well, or the stakeholder, well, at the moment where I work, our stakeholders are all internal because my company is really large. We have over 400 employees, so my department caters to other departments and the things that they need. But because of the kind of company I work in, we're dealing with people who are not very tech savvy. And so you have people that reach out to you and say, well, actually, I want this to happen, that to happen. And they want 100 things done. And at that point where they come to you and say, we want all of this done, you need to then sit down, listen to what they are saying, filter out those that you think are irrelevant, and then sort of like say to them, well, this is the approach that I think we should take for this. And then at that point, when the both of you have had that conversation and you're on the same level, then you can then do the requirements. Well, actually, all of this phase is called the requirements gathering phase. So basically, I spend my day gathering requirements. After gathering requirements, I sit with my team, we've discussed the requirements, I come up with the priority, I put it on the board, in the backlog to say, well, we're going to pick this up at some point whenever we're ready to pick it up. So put it in the backlog, then at some point we pick it up and start working on it. So when a client comes with or a stakeholder comes with a project, we don't pick it up immediately because we have other things that are working on. So there's a priority level. You have to look at the things that we have and then say, well, actually, I'm the one who's going to tell them because they're going to ask you, what should you work on? So I'd have to say to them, well, let's put this on hold and let's pick this one. And then basically, I'm managing everybody's projects and telling them what to do at each point in time. So like I said, a day-to-day is meetings, then there's testing as well. Oh God. So at the moment, I think I spent my Friday writing test cases, test scenarios on one of the projects that we've worked on. So I do KU, I do SIT, I do UAT as well, for all of the projects that we work on. What else do I do? Right. I do technical documentation as well. So we use this application called Click Learn. We use it to create technical documentation for all of the applications that we've created. So basically, it's like a user guide. We use it to create user guide so that people, when we're doing the handover to the stakeholder to say, well, this is your product to use. You give them a user guide to go along with it so that if they have problems, they can refer to the user guide first before coming back to you. What else do I do? So there are demos. Obviously, when we're developing an application, UAT is user acceptance testing. So usually in the software development lifecycle, there's the initial phase where you're doing like the planning, the design, all of that. And then after you have planning, after you have design, then you now have like where you're creating the application itself, from all of the requirements and the design that you've gotten. Then after you finish creating that, you now go to the part where you're now testing it. Before you release anything outside, you need to the public, you need to test it. So there are different types of testing. There's system integration testing, where you're checking if that particular application integrates with the other applications that it's meant to work with, if it integrates properly, or if there's any part of it that is broken that you need to fix. So basically, you're trying to break it. What them Ulama have designed is your work. Well, I do that because of the way that my company is structured. But in some companies, they have testers separately. So it's my work to make sure that I try to break what they've done. And if I can break it, then it means they've not done their work well. So I would then come back to them and say, well, this thing you've done, I've successfully broken it. So you need to go and fix it so that nobody will be able to break it again. Also, I need to check to be sure that, the different components work and, yeah, welcome, Ruth. Yeah, the different components work. So SIT, KUT, UAT as well. Those are the different types of testing that we do. Aside that, what do I do? Oh, so there's reporting as well. Because I manage a team of devs, I'm not just a project manager. I'm also a dev manager. So basically, my entire team reports to me. In the hierarchy of my organization, they all report to me not just as a project manager, but to a line manager. So it means that I have to do reports on everything that they do on a monthly basis to make sure that, the stakeholders, higher ups are aware. I have to take care of my team's welfare. If there are fires, I need to make sure that I put out the fires. If, for example, any one of my team members gets into any trouble, I need to speak on their behalf to make sure that, whatever it is sorted. So I advocate for them on a management level. And then whenever we're doing recruitment, I have to write the job descriptions. I have to be a part of the recruitment process. I just finished updating our job ads for the year, because we update it periodically. So update it to be sure that it's in line with market trends at the moment. To be honest, there's a lot that I can't remember all of them, but there's a whole lot. As a project manager, you have multiple hands, and your hands are going in different directions. So whatever is called, or whatever they call upon you to do, is what you need to do. So you need someone who's adaptable enough to move from one thing to another, or at least even if you don't know those things, be willing to learn them. So yeah, constantly learning, constantly trying to do everything that's required of me, really. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's me done.
Okay, thank you very much, Eche. Chisom, okay, tell us what your role as a BA is like and what your day-to-day activity looks like. And after this question, maybe our subsequent questions will have to time it, because we've already done like 42 minutes. Yeah. So
thank you, Lama, again. So Eche and Chidiog, I think they've kind of even said a lot, because I call myself as a business analyst that I'm like a helper to the PO or the project manager. But currently, right now, kind of in an agile environment. The project I'm handling is in the agile space, and I work more with the product owner, right? So for me, as a business systems analyst, I'm in the IT aspects of the BA role. So my day-to-day work is usually like, we have some agile ceremonies that we do. We have our daily stand-up, and what we do is you have to report. We have a meeting like by 9:30 a.m. and report what you've done the previous day, what you intend to do the current day. Do you have any bottleneck and stuff like that? Then we also have a ceremony that we call refinement, story refinement, because in an agile world, those requirements that you're collecting, you are kind of translating them into stories, user stories. We call them user stories. So in our refinements, we kind of go through all the stories and look at the priority stories and kind of work on them. And we ask questions around the user stories and check which one are feasible to do. Then we also have like a sprint planning. That's also where we kind of look at our weekly and bi-weekly user stories, which ones have been TikTok, which ones are done, which ones are pending to test, and stuff like that. So me as a business systems analyst, what I tell everybody is our roles are different. My role in this project can be different from another person's role in another project. I've had a friend that told me that for her as a BA, she has just been doing high-level process map, like drawing process flows, like the detailed level process maps for like 2 years. I'm like, I don't get to do that for me. So for me, I kind of work more with developers. There are times that I'll have to do data analysis. There are also times that I'll have to do API analysis. I look at payload, like the application program interface. This kind of tells us how our system's going to communicate. So I look at the JSON files, I look at the data elements, the values, and kind of sift out data and kind of document. Another thing that I do is I also look at business rules that kind of govern the project. Right now, I'm handling a project with the credits. So I work in a bank, and for bank, it's structured. You can't come and do a PO role. You have to do your role as a business analyst or a business system analyst. You can't come and do the role of a QA unless maybe the QA is not there, but it doesn't really happen. So for me, I create user stories. Some people and some companies will tell you that it's a PO, that's a product owner that creates user stories. But for me, I get to do that. My PO kind of prioritizes. She gives me the requirements, I translate them into user stories. And if they're not clear, I can go on to now meet the business user to kind of get it, to understand it and translate it into a user story to make it more clear to the developers to implement. So, but I kind of work hand in hand with the product owner always. So that's why I call the product owner, like I'm like a helper to the product owner. And sometimes why I find it tricky is that so many times that I'll be like, oh, okay, I need to get to meet the business user. You'll be like, no, that is structured. It's actually the role of the PO to do all those kind of high top level meetings and bring back the requirements to the table to kind of explicitly write them and translate them. So another thing I also do is I have meetings most times with the developers and trying to look at solutions and how we are able to implement them. And because I work on a project that it's more of credit, like it's just like you coming to borrow money from the bank, they can give you that loan either as a credit card or as a term loan. Right, so we need to kind of look at what is feasible, the business rules that work around such products, right? So that's what like my day-to-day activity is like. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. You guys should keep your question at the end of the session. You can ask your questions, or you can just be dropping it there. I can see HS was already answering some questions already. Thank you. Now, I need to ask this question because it's very vital. I don't think I'll ask all the questions, but this particular one is vital. You know, some people meet me and ask me, oh, Uloma, which certification should I write? The first question I ask the person is, what skill have you even acquired to write certification? You know, sometimes I'll be like, oh, say I have to have this certification is important for me to get a role. For me as a software engineer, I know that, to be very honest, the last certification I had was, so many of you will laugh at me, was in 2012. Since then, I've not written anything. I don't bother myself about certifications. So I asked this question, you know, I know HR has written a lot. Is this skill or is this certification? You know, which one is more important? Or is it the combination of both of them? So let me just know, like, as a beginner, someone that is starting, what do you advise the person? How do you tell the person to start? Is it to go for the skill or to go and start writing certifications? So, Eche, you're laughing. Start.
Do you remember last year when like I was writing? I think I wrote like
I
5.
wrote a lot.
Like this in January to June, I did like 5, and you were like, Eche, Zukwani Iki. I see certifications, yeah, like an ID card. And so if, for example, I'm going into an office and I have an ID card that looks like theirs on my neck, you know, when I get to the front desk, they'll most likely admit me. But if I get to the door and I need to swipe my card, and then I can't, the ID card doesn't work. So the swiping process is like the skill. It's like when it's the skill. So the ID card is certifications is like your ID card. The swiping, the place where your certifications actually work for you, is the skill. What I'm trying to explain is this. Certifications are amazing in our what's it called, in our niche or in the job that we do. They're amazing because they sort of let the employer know that, oh, this person is a forward-thinking person. Oh, this person is someone that wants to improve. They are actually like, you know, they're actually somebody that is continually working on themselves. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you pack all the certifications in the world and you cannot defend it, you lose your job. In fact, like there's a frenzy going on in the UK right now where people come in, they've never done anything tech related, and then they go and do a 6-month boot camp where they are teaching them 2 hours a day. And then after doing the 6 months boot camp, they will then do their CV for them. They will coach them, tell them all the things to bobo the person at the interview. They pass the interview, and they don't even get. They are not applying for, you know, junior level. They are going for senior roles, and then they get the job, but they lose it because you can, no matter the number of certifications that you have, you can never out certify skills.
Yeah.
You see the skills, you can't out certify it. So get your certifications, but make sure that in that process, the skills are what you're after, not just the paper. Because at the end of the day, in fact, I've never used my master's certificate. It's just somewhere. I just have it. But yeah, get both of them basically. It's the most important.
It will shock you that my boss doesn't even have a master's. So I'm the one packing the certificate because they don't even need it.
I think you guys are different. You guys don't even need certificates, to be honest, because most developers, this is not YouTube that I used to learn.
So that's just it. Anyway, Gigi. Okay, let's hear from me. Certification skill, which one is more important, or both of them? Which one actually works for you?
So from my experience, I don't have any certification. Remember, what I have is an engineering certificates. So I've had to learn on the job. So it's majorly the skills. So just show that you know what you're doing, you can solve problems. The truth that I've come to realize is that most companies, all they want to do is to increase their bottom line. They want their product to be successful and they want to make money. If you can show them that you can make money for them and you can solve problems for them, they really don't care about any other thing. So basically that's it. And it's the skills that you show that you can solve, like you need those skills to show that you can solve problems for them or that you can make money for them, and then they'll hire you. The only time certificates are important is if they're in a niche where the certificate is important. So take, for example, if you're in finance and you have CFA, so it's a worthy thing to have like a CFA certification in finance because it shows credibility. So unless you're in those kinds of industries where your certification equals some kind of credibility, I really wouldn't say you should go about bothering about certification, because the most important thing you want to have, first of all, like Eche said, is the skill. You have the skill to solve problems for them and make money for them. Trust me, you're going to be hired everywhere and anywhere.
Chisom, let's hear from you.
Okay, so I'm also trying to concur with what Eche and Chidiogo said. The both of them are okay. That they are good to have, but you can't do away with skill. Why I say it is that even when you're applying for a job, looking at your job description, what do you see? Oh, ability to do this, ability to do that. That's skill, right? You will not see maybe the BAB is an asset or this is an asset. So that tells you that what they want to see is your skill set. But then again, you look at it this way, are you applying for a senior role or are you applying for an entry level role? If you're applying for an entry level role, you might not really bother because you could come in and do like a job shadow, you know that the company can, take time and teach you. But if you're applying for a senior role, you have to get to the job and start doing it. So that tells us that skill sets is very important. But certification again, I mean, I will use myself as an example. It can kind of show like a proof, like a testament to that skill that you have. Because when I was in Telnet, the banks wants to see that for us to be called Swift partners, we have eligible certifications that we must have. That was why I used to travel to Ghana every time. Like, it was crazy, right? So you can have certification in that regards, that you see that for the company to say that we can do this, we have people that can do it, we have people that are certified that can do it. So that's aside. Then when I came in, that was COVID time, right? There were no jobs. I tried to get a job, there were no jobs. I told myself, I can't just be at home caring for kids. I need to get a certification. And I looked at the certified business analysis professional because I know that I can't start with the entry level one because I know my worth. I told myself I have to do this. I have to read. I was reading with like 5 people and I got it done. And when I was kind of having interviews, I was telling myself, anytime I tell them that this is what I was doing for the past 6 months, it gave them the understanding that I'm not lazy. Like Chidiogo said, that you are someone that is focused, that you're not just idle during that moment, right? But you can never do away with skill sets. They want to see that you can do this, and it all depends on what kind of job are you applying. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Thank you very much. This is very important because I remember I've had this argument with some people, and some people will say certification, some people will say skills. For me, I will still say skill over certification, because the first interview I had, in fact, in 2012, I already have certification in Oracle and in Microsoft SQL management, two different types of database. So, I saw myself like, yes, I have certification, this job, I'm going to get it. And I went for interview. The man asked me 2 questions in database. I could not even answer it. The man was not like, but you have certification in Oracle. This simple question, you can't even answer it. I said, sir, I've not used Oracle before, but I have this certification. He was not looking at me like, are you for real? So that's why I tell people, don't make that mistake Uloma made. Please go for the skill. If you have any certification, make sure that if you're going for any interview, that you can back it up. It's very, very important. So yeah, I think
okay. I think that it depends on your distance, because I remember when I was job hunting, we are setting for us, for my role particularly, people are looking for the fact that Scrum Master, and for them to agree that you are a Scrum Master, they have to see that you are Scrum Master certified. So actually, there are some roles that you must still have it, but skills every time.
Every time, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, I think this has to be the final question I'll ask before I'll allow you guys or the audience ask their questions. Now, for someone that wants to start, what advice do you have in regarding to courses they have to take, boot camps, certifications they have to write? Even though we say skill over certification, but where do you how will I put it? Where do you advise them, or how do you advise them to start? Because You know, some people, they'll be like, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. You know, do you suggest bootcamp? Do you suggest Udemy courses? And for instance, in Nigeria now, to be very honest, most of our audience here, they are in Nigeria. And most companies don't even give you intern role self. They won't even, most companies want, because we know situation of things in Nigeria. So most companies want people who have at least 1 or 2 years of experience, but they don't have time. It's only in UK here or in Canada you can see companies that can still take intern, or maybe in Lagos. In some companies, it's always really hard. You will see some people, they finish bootcamp, they're still looking for intern roles and stuff like that. So, you know, where and how do they start? So that's my question. Okay, Chisom, go first.
Why me this time? Okay, that's okay. I think for my role, right, I would still say that it depends on your level of understanding. I know you said someone that have not even started anything, and it's unfortunate that maybe in Nigeria, you don't really have, I don't know if you really have schools that, like school that you kind of go for, like is a 1 year business analysis course, because we have them like in places like Canada. So for someone that wants to start, maybe the person can start with going for a school, because you don't know anything. You want to even understand the theory. You want to even understand the basics of business analysis. Because if I say start with Udemy courses, you might not still understand if you are doing those courses on your own. You know, so it depends on your level of understanding at that moment. Like someone like me, I didn't need all those kind of going for a business analysis school, right? I had to leverage on my past IT experience, and at the same time, I read up every other thing that I know right now, and every other skill set that I acquired right now, and the tools I'm actually using as a business analyst. So I would start with, like, if you won't kind of find, I saw someone that said that schools are expensive. Yeah, I know that schools are expensive. So maybe that's why you can start with any form of reading at all. Maybe the boot camping will help, right? But if you are someone that is focused and disciplined, that can say that, okay, I can even read on my own, that is where Udemy courses comes into play. Or even there are free courses on LinkedIn that you can also leverage on. And if you have somebody that can coach you, fine. So I think that's what I can say. So it still depends on your level of understanding. And if you're a bit experienced, or if you've even done something, maybe a customer service role, because all the things that you see us saying, oh, okay, the role of a BA, you might even have been working as a BA indirectly in some tasks that you'll be doing for your company, but you don't know. So, I mean, because you also need some soft skills, like the communication skills, how you attend to your customers, you might be able to relate, and you can back it up with Udemy courses. So this is what I can say for this one.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. Eche, let's hear from you.
Okay. Just as someone who has struggled a lot with finding a path and all of that, yeah. I will speak from my personal experience. The first step is not to go and look for anybody to teach you. The first step is to sit with yourself. Is to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what exactly do I have? Do you understand? So if, for example, I want to be a project manager, and Google is your best friend. I go on Google and I say, okay, what are the skills required for project managers? And they say, oh, you need to know different methodologies, agile, waterfall. You need to be good at communicating. You need to be organized. You need to be a good planner. You need to be empathetic. They will list these skills there. You come and sit with yourself, you and yourself, be honest with yourself. Out of all these things that have been listed, which one do I have? That's the first step. You need to do a skill audit of where you are. So when you do a skill audit and you've seen where you are, and you've seen where you need to go to from where you are, then the next step is now to look for how to get those other ones that are missing. Obviously, the ones that you already have, you've probably developed from your present job, or even if, for example, some jobs they will say somebody that can work under pressure. As a Nigerian, you're working under pressure every day. So that skill is they give it to you as a Nigerian from birth. Anyways, that's aside. So if you go online, you look at the places that you have your things missing, the skills that are missing, the skill gap. You go online, you look for example, you in fact, personally, what I do is I start from YouTube videos. So I listen to people talk about what they did when I wanted to start doing project management, gongo, and I knew that because I had plenty years of experience, I could not start from square one. I knew that I needed to level up, and I needed to level up fast. I needed to level up fast. So I watched some YouTube videos. I listen to people talk. They will say, "Oh, this is what we do. This is what we do on a day-to-day basis." Blah blah blah. When I was done with that, then I went to free courses. The thing that a lot of Nigerians do is that they're always giving excuses and saying how this is not available, that is not available. Use the one that is available to you first. Start from where you are. When I was starting my career, I was a broke girl that was living in my father's house, and nobody was giving me one kobo. All they were owing me was a roof over my head and food. So I had to make sure that, okay, I take care of the rest by myself, yeah. So there is Allison.com. All Allison, in fact, like all of their courses are free, except they've changed it. That's how I started. I read up on Allison, I watched some of their videos. In fact, there is Ingressive for Good now that gives scholarship to people. There is Coursera. Coursera has financial aid available for Africans. Just as long as you are an African, you live in Africa, you cannot afford it, Coursera will give you the course for free. Apply for financial aid, you will get it. I know so many people that have gotten it. So I think we are past the stage where, you are saying, resources are expensive, schools are this. The things are available for you. Google is your best friend. Sit with yourself, do an audit. Once you have found your skill gap, then once you have found your skill gap, then look for free courses under that. Once you have gotten the rudimentary knowledge of those places where you have this, then the next step is to start to look for how to apply it. I know that Uloma has said that in Nigeria it's very difficult for people to give you a chance. I think it depends on where you live, because for me, all I wanted was somebody to give me a chance, and I was willing to work for almost nothing. You have to be willing to make sacrifices, even if it's 6 months. 6 months of sacrifices. You see, 6 months of intentionality can make the rest of your life. Just say, for 6 months, you know what? I'm not going to buy new hair. I'm not going to buy new clothes. I'm going to be, focused on this. I'm going to be focused on just this. This is what I want to get for the next 6 months. I promise you, 6 months will change your life. I remember when I first wanted to switch, one of my plenty careers that I tried. When I wanted to switch, I was doing courses, obviously, and then I was applying for jobs. And then I went online and I saw one office, and then I went to their website. I looked for the email. I looked for plenty emails. I just sent an email to everybody. Then my email caught the attention of the CEO, and he asked them to call me. And when I went in there, and he said, "So you don't have any experience?" I said, "No, but this is what I want to do." The first question he asked me is, "If this is what you want to do, what have you done?" And I said, "I've been learning since." So I started to tell him plenty things. He was very impressed. I wanted to work for free, but they paid me. He was like, "Oh, you've learned enough for you to be useful to us, so we'll pay you." Basically, the first step, skill audit. Second step, skill up. Third step, go outside and look for opportunities. If you can get a mentor, fine. If you can't, hustle. Sorry, Loma, that was long. Sorry.
No. I really enjoyed what you really said, because personally, I even learned. I even learned from what you said. Honestly, people give plenty excuses, and we need, as young people, we need to do better. we need to stop giving excuses. You know, we talk to some people, be like, I can't find it online. No, how will I do it? So no, they'll be telling you places to. Personally, I don't even have patience. If you tell me plate, I won't even. If you send me hell, I won't answer you again because I'll be like, this person is not serious. To be very honest.
Yeah.
So that's I concur with what you said. Yeah, it's very inspiring. Gigi, please let's hear from you.
Yeah, I also concur with what Eche has said. And I'll say something similar too. But before you even do the skill audits, what I would suggest is try new things. And so you see, Eche was able to do skill audits because she had tried things. And like she said, you have to be humble. When you are looking for something, you have to be humble because you don't have the soup. Somebody else has the soup. You have the eba. And you cannot swallow eba without soup. So you have to be very humble and loyal. You have to be willing to either work for free or work for like minimal pay, because all you're after at that point is to gain the experience. So, and if you cannot get a job, try uncommon things. Like you cannot get uncommon results if you do only the normal things. You have to be willing to go out of your way to do uncommon things. So like HS said, she had to go out and look for ways to get email addresses of people within an organization. Nowadays, you have LinkedIn. You could just send people a connection. And you know, when you're sending a connection, you can send a note. So you could reach out to like founders, people like us that have startups. We're looking for people who can work for us, like maybe spend a little time, work for a little amount of money. Just reach out to, you could even go to Y Combinator founders. Like Y Combinator has this list of founders who are looking for people to work for them. Go there, look for those people, reach out to those founders, tell them that like you don't have so much experience, but you're willing to learn, and this is the training you've been doing. This is the little experience or knowledge that you have, and you're willing to work for them because you want to look for a way to gain those skills for cheap, easily, like when it's going to be a no-brainer for people to hire you. So all you're after at that point is to gain the experiences, and then you can now go ahead and then do the skills audit that Eche mentioned. And when you've done your skill audit and you now know what you want to do, you have some kind of sense of direction. Another thing to do is to leverage your connections, leverage what you have like in your pockets. So look at what you have. You would always have something, even if it's somebody that you know. Tell somebody like, oh, this, go on LinkedIn, like the kind of job you want. See who in your network works in that industry or know somebody that works in that industry, whether it's a second connection or a third level connection. Just reach out to somebody and say, oh, this is what I am interested in. These are the skills I have, and this is what I can offer. And try to find something. But all I'm getting at, I'm saying all this to say that you need to be proactive. Like you can't do what everybody else is doing and expect a different result. You need to do something that is uncommon. And you, like Echa said too, you need to be intentional and be willing to make sacrifices. You know what your goal is. It's like someone telling you that, see, at the end of that 6 months, you can get a job that would pay you like 6 figures, like maybe $60,000. And that thing is for certain, like you're certain that if you go and get that skill, that you get that 60K. So have that kind of picture in mind, like this is your end goal, this is your North Star, this is what you're working towards. So whatever it's going to take to make you achieve that end goal, you have to be willing to do it. Let me rephrase that. Anything that is legit that will take you to get to that North Star, you need to be able to do it. And again, you need to have confidence. Like be confident in yourself. That was something that I didn't have starting out because I felt like, oh my God, I'm an engineer. What am I doing in the tech field? I'm not supposed to be here. But the truth is, if someone has hired you for a role, like they've seen something in you that they trust. So you need to be confident to go out there and take the bull by the horn and just do what you have to do. So yeah, that's my advice. Be proactive and be confident. Be willing to do something that is uncommon for you to achieve those uncommon goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Sorry, Uloma, just one quick phrase that just occurred to me. At the beginning of your career, chase value. Then when you have enough value, start to chase money. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you. You guys have actually you guys have actually said it all, to be very honest. You guys have said it all. At the beginning, chase value. Towards the end, right? Chase money. Okay.
Not towards the end, though.
Okay, not towards the end, as you're
Not towards
progressing.
the end. When you know that you have value, you've gained confidence. Because to be honest, confidence comes by doing, yeah. So
Yes.
when you know that you have value, you can now sit on tables and tell them this is how much I am worth, knowing that you can defend that money.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, Okosada, ADP is free. I'm sure it's free, right, Eche? It's not paid for.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, it's free. You can apply it and get you can apply and get a mentor there. That's true. And
Yeah, it
a
is.
mentor that is in your field that will be mentoring you and be guiding you how. Yeah. And honestly, there's something Gigi said I also want to, emphasize on. If you see somewhere you can volunteer for free just to acquire that skill, please, it's very important. Do it. Some mistake people make is that when they finish boot camp or when they take 1 or 2 courses, they want to start earning 6 figures. It doesn't happen that way. Nobody will pay you that money.
Yeah.
You have to add value to someone's company before they think of giving you good money. So even if you see where you can volunteer for free just to acquire that skill, even if it is 6 months, 1 year, do it. But just know that if I tell you people my first salary when I started that, anyway, everybody have their own story. They understand. But I did that for 2 years plus because the person I was working with then was a very good software engineer, and I knew I could learn a lot from him. So it was not even because of the salary. I was doing it just to get that skill. And after 2 years, I left, and since then, the rest is history. So if you see where you can volunteer for free, please, it's very important. Volunteer and get that skill and move on and move on and do greater things with yourself. So this is the end of my own question. So if you're here and you have any question to ask them, please raise up your hand. I will mute you and you ask your question. If you have a question, please raise up. Is anybody raising their hand? Okay, Doris. Yeah, Doris, unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy seeing ladies doing this. I'm very, very, very super excited. Like, I heard everything you guys said. And for example, like last year, I struggled. Like, I had to sacrifice a lot just to buy a laptop. It wasn't easy, but I had to do it because I knew what I wanted. I knew when I have this laptop, I'll get the opportunity to earn a skill, then start working. But unfortunately, you see, I've tried Udemy and their teaching, fine, is good, but sometimes you need a mentor, someone to mentor you, to guide you through it because it's Python. I'm studying Python programming in computer language. But sometimes it's very, very difficult to do it all alone by yourself. Because even there are some things for a beginner, like I'm zero in anything tech. This is my first time of trying it, and I really, really, really like. I'm super interested in learning it and knowing more about tech. Anything tech, I'm just all in for it now. I want to empower myself this year. Like I'm giving myself this year to grab something, and I think it's tech. It's not even I think. I know I'll get it through tech because I've always been a computer girl. Just marriage happens, and a lot of things happen. So that was what happened to me. But now I'm intentional about it. So my question now is, it's not always easy to study alone. I'm looking for a mentor, someone that will mentor me. I heard when people said about AGP. I'll go and look it up. I'll go and Google it and see if I can get a mentor there, like in Python training. Or is there any of you studying that one that will help me, that will guide me through it, so that at least I can have access to whenever I have a question? Can someone help me through it?
Can I ask you something? When you said, are you trying to learn Python as a programmer or as a data analyst, as a machine learning expert? Why are you learning Python?
As a data analyst.
As a data analyst, so you need a data And as you did, you need someone to mentor you in data analyst, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
there's
exactly.
a boot camp I will recommend for you. The name is Analytics. You have my number. Send me a message. At least I've recommended that particular boot camp for like few people, and I know someone that completed that boot camp that has a final interview here in the UK now. She went through that particular boot camp. They are good. I will recommend that particular boot camp.
As a beginner.
As a beginner, yes. You know,
Oh.
they do stuffs like no-code platform. They teach Python. You know, their courses is in series, and at the end of the boot camp, they will give you a project, and they will still mentor you. They have in fact, I like how their program is actually structured. So I think I'll recommend that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they have a WhatsApp group or something.
Right. Thank you so much. I
Just start
appreciate
me
that
up, yes.
so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other person with any question? Any other question, please?
Yes, please. I have a question to ask. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Okay. Good evening to all. Thank you for the really wonderful session. It was really insightful. My question is, for me, I am looking into the cybersecurity part, and I am already trying to gather skills. However, I'm trying to bring my sister along in the tech space. So she studied business administration. Today I recommended business analyst to her. And now she's like the age gap, the little knowledge she has in IT, the blah blah blah. Now, what advice would you um suggest that I give her, considering that she's worried about the age gap now?
Chisom, please, can you answer this question? Business analyst, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
When you say age gap, I don't know if, can I ask what age is that?
Okay, she's in early 30s.
So that's not even, I even thought you would say maybe 50s, even the 40-something-year-old people. It's never late to start, right? And because he has done something in business, you know, when somebody hears about business, you are kind of wondering how to kind of develop maybe a business idea that you have, or a requirement that you have, or implement a project that you have. So I would say that the age is nothing. So many people that go abroad to kind of transition into a new skill, they start from somewhere, right? So if she has had some little knowledge about business analysis, right, she can start with maybe the Udemy courses. But if she doesn't really have those kind of understanding, I will still say that he or she can, you know, look at her network and, you know, see who can mentor her or attend some trainings, you know. So, but I just wanted to rule out the fact that age is a number. So she can as well still pick up at this age. You know, we are all saying that research is good. Just start something. I mean, there's no lateness to anything that you want to achieve, right? Start something. You can even do your Google research, YouTube research, LinkedIn learning, or anything. But if she doesn't have any idea at all of business analysis, I would still say that she might need a coach, or she might need to kind of, you know, have a training to be done. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that suggestion. I think I'll have her check out the business analyst roadmap on YouTube first, and then maybe learn about the tools they use. Just
And
having,
also, okay, sorry.
I'm listening, ma'am.
Yeah, and also if she's also looking for certifications, because she doesn't even have an experience, she can just start with the entry level certifications in business analysis to also help her in understanding everything around business analysis. And that one, you won't say that you need an experience to kind of fill out your requirements for writing the exam, you know. So yeah, that is it.
Thank you very much.
Actually, there is a question here for you. I don't know if you've seen it. Please, do you have a bootcamp you recommend for project management / Scrum? I am doing project management on Coursera, but I'm worried about getting hands-on experience.
Is it the Google project management course that you're doing? If yes, that course is structured in a way that there are real life examples. So, that course is very in-depth, that the Google project management. It depends, like, because I know it's structured into different parts. I hope you didn't go and start midway, like start from maybe like the agile methodology. If you start from the beginning, that course is very detailed. So I think that starting from there, you started from foundation, that's great. If you started from the foundation, then you're on the right track. Do that one first, finish it before worrying about the front.
Okay, I had to mute everyone, please. Precious Chibuke. I don't know. Yeah. Please don't mute yourself again because you're in a very noisy place. Thank you. Okay. Duru Roots, unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Blessing George, you can unmute yourself and ask your question too.
Hi everyone, good evening. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for this webinar. I really appreciate and appreciate everyone that said something to us. It was very insightful. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. We can hear you.
It was very insightful. I really got a new motivation. I got a new motivation. Thank you. So my question is I wanted to ask something on project management. I wanted to ask, like, what's the first step to take? Okay, someone said the first step to take is to sit yourself down, right? And talk to yourself first. And I think I've done that. So what's the next step to take in acquiring this skill? Like, what should I do? Because even after this webinar, I'm still, should I say, a bit confused on the first step to take, the first ever step to take. That is what I want to ask. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Okay. Ruth, when you sat, let's make this interactive. When you sat with yourself, what were the skill gaps you identified?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Someone was talking.
So when you had, like, introspection, when you did the introspection, what were the skill gaps that you identified?
I'm lost.
So when I said the first step is to sit with yourself, so I said
Yes.
you need to do that as an analysis. So it's like a cross-examination. You go online, you check for the skills required for project management. You sit with yourself and you ask yourself, which one of these do I have? So
Okay.
if you've done that, then what were the skills? What was the skill gap that you identified that came out of that?
Oh, I really did not get that. I think I should sit with myself again.
Okay, that's the first step. Because, for example, where I'm starting out, if I'm starting out as a project manager, where I'm going to start from will be different from where you are going to start from, because the experiences that we have in life shape us. And project management is one of these jobs where I promise you have managed a project at one point in your life. You just probably don't know. If you've ever planned a party, if you've ever, what's a project? It's basically an activity with stakeholders. Stakeholders are, other people that are involved, or, that have some sort of interest or benefit from that particular event. Yeah. So it has a start date, it has an end date. If, for example, your friend has a wedding and you helped her to plan the wedding, that wedding is a project.
Yes, ma'am.
So the same skills that are required for an IT project manager, the same soft skills, are the same kind of soft skills that are going to be required to plan a birthday party. It's not different. Now, where you now, after you are sure that, okay, you look at that part of your life, you're like, oh, I've identified this. Now you're now looking for the hard skills. That's the one that you're going to look for courses on. Obviously, you can still learn soft skills, but I'm saying start from somewhere. Look at what you already have, because you definitely already have something. But you need to do a skill audit first. Then after you've done skill audit, you go online and start to look for free resources. Start from free resources before you look for paid. If you cannot finish, if you can't look at free resources and use them and learn something from them, my dear, don't bother paying for anything.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
Actually,
much.
I'll just add, do you have any resource that people could use for this skill audits? Because sometimes people might not know what questions they should be asking themselves while going through the process of this skill audit. Or could you just mention some kind of questions they should be thinking about when they go through that process?
Okay, so basically, I'm going on Google now, yeah, and I'm just searching for skills required for a project manager. Yeah, sorry, hold on. For a project manager, and some of the things, 17 essential project management skills. So a project manager should be effective at planning, monitoring, and reviewing. Am I effective at planning? What have I planned before? Did I plan it well? Was I able to? I helped my sister with this thing, but did I enjoy it? Was I good at it? Where did I do well and where did I not do well? Monitoring and reviewing. I like to follow up on people now. So yes, I think I'm actually good at that one, but I would need some sort of improvements. Okay, how do I improve? Okay, go on the same Google and check how to improve on planning, how to improve on monitoring, how to improve on reviewing. I promise you, if the answer is not on the first page, keep searching, keep going. You see, there's a mistake a lot of people do where they end at the first page. Google does not end on that first page. The pages that appear on the first page are just those that are good at SEO. It does not mean that those are the best resources. They just have better search engine optimization. So basically, when you've done the search, you're sitting with yourself, you're asking, with each skill, you're asking yourself one after, I don't know your life, you're the one who knows your life. So you're asking yourself one after the other. Do I have any, from my track record, do I have anything have I done anything that relates to this? Have I honed these skills in any way? It does not have to be directly related to, project management in the grand scheme of things as a job. Do you get? Ruth, am I making, is this too complex, or is this, did I break it down enough? So
yes, you can actually break it down a little. Thank you.
You know what? I don't think that this is something that I think this is probably not something I'll be able to do. I'll be able to break down comprehensively here. So if you reach out to me on LinkedIn, then maybe I can explain to you better. But what I'm saying basically is this: there is no, it's not a big thing. Like it's not like something that's, you're not planning for it. It's not this grand thing. It's literally just, you know how when they tell you have bad character, and you go and sit down and say, do I have bad character? And then you're like, but okay, actually, I insulted this person yesterday, so actually that's bad. It's the same thing you're doing for your skills. It's literally the same thing. You are asking yourself questions. The things that they say that are required for this job, do I have it? If you don't know the meaning of these words, again, Google, what are the characteristics of an organized person? Google will tell you the answers. You sit with yourself again and ask yourself, do I have these characteristics? Or just maybe if something is coming to your mind that I'm not hitting, maybe you can help. Because
Okay, so the only other thing I would say is, as a product owner, I'm used to putting myself in people's shoes. So if I were someone who is starting out, I'd also want to find out. So okay, so say after I've gone through the skill audits, I understand what monitoring is, and I've say I don't know, I don't have the skills to train. So what opportunities can I leverage to go and do these things? Because you're saying it's not necessarily a job role kind of thing. So say I'm still in university or I'm about to go and do my NYSC. like what opportunities can I use during this time period, these periods of time, to gain these experiences or to skill up, basically.
Okay, so I guess doing the skill audit is different from the skilling up itself. So doing the skill audit is trying to figure out where you need to skill up. So after figuring out where you need to skill up, then that's when you're now starting to look for opportunities. So one of the things that I did at some point was there was a skills academy that I applied for. There was a skills academy. I think I paid 25K for it. And then at that point, I listened to some of the things that they said. In fact, there are some Twitter spaces. There's this lady on Twitter. Her name is Bumi. She's a PM person and she holds some spaces. And during these spaces, people can ask her questions. She's quite expensive if you want to book a one-on-one, but she does spaces where she speaks and then you can get generic knowledge. I think that generally people, when we're trying to start up, yeah, we're always looking for somebody that we can have one-on-one conversation. But sometimes, because the people that you're trying to get that information from, they are very busy. For example, if you want to sit me down on another day where it's not Uloma that is calling me, I will not answer you. You know, the possibility I will answer you is quite low because I'm very busy. So look for free resources. For example, there are YouTube channels that talk only about project management. You know what? Hold on. I will search for and I'll put it in the what's it called, in the message in the chat so that you can look at it. Just give me a few minutes. But maybe you
can send to me so I can put it in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, thank you.
No worries. I think we can move to the next question while I try to search for
I'll
them.
take like 2 more questions and we wrap up and we close for the day. Blessing George, have you asked your question? I think.
Okay, I've not asked my question. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually grateful for this opportunity I've been given. Thank you so much for putting up this webinar. I've learned so much and I'm inspired. So moving on to my question, first of all, I have zero tech knowledge. Yes, I do. I'm a health professional, a pharmacist to be specific. So the thing is, I'm actually very confused. I don't even know which career path to take in this tech. I know the world is becoming a tech world. That's why I've really been asking myself lots of questions until I saw the link my friend put up. I was like, okay, this should be one of the things I should start doing this year. So I want to know, I would like to actually venture in the health sector. Is there like a tech, like I like how people are actually some people have even found out what they want to do. Oh, I want to be a project manager, I want to be a data analyst. I don't even know. And then someone like me now, I want to remain in the health sector. I'd really like to remain there. So is there like any tech platform for people in the health sector? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Or is there a point where I'd have to get to and be like, oh, you don't necessarily need to remain in the health sector. There are so many other things you can do in the tech world. It doesn't necessarily need to concern just the health sector. Please, that's just my question. And then how do I even find my career path? I think the first speaker, if I'm not mistaken, Eche, she was saying she tried different things. And it was during the process of trying out different things that she was able to build a track record. I think she built tracks for herself, and that was how she was able to begin to manage projects. Is that what I should be doing at this point? I don't know if my question was forgotten.
Who will take this one? Chisom, will you take it?
Well, let me try. But I just wanted to ask a question. Like, why do you want to change and come into tech? Like right now you are into health. Is it that because you've seen that tech is the real deal, like we are moving to tech, or
because I've seen that tech is the real deal. Most of my friends, they are not pharmacists though, but a lot of them that probably did other courses, most of them are into tech, and they were like, Blessing, you can do this. You don't need to stay. But someone like me would like to really venture into the health industry, but I would like to also do this tech. And I don't know if there's a way I can combine both, or I have to leave one to concentrate on one.
So yeah, so that's what, like, you can't just you have to just sit down and know what you want at this moment. Like, you can't just be trying out tech and you. So if you want to remain in the health industry because you are used to health, trying to come into tech, maybe as a project manager or as a business analyst, maybe you would now want to have to handle projects in health. There are business analysts that does health projects, right? You gather requirements because you're already used to, okay, let's say some milliliters of drugs, maybe paracetamol, this is that. You're already used to such understanding of what's some drugs, like some drug products are made of. So if you now come in to handle projects in health, I mean, so you can easily delve into maybe gathering requirements, or maybe being a project manager to kind of manage the project around that health. So it has to be a health project. So you have to totally say that I want to be an IT project manager, or I want to be an IT business analyst. I don't know if it's clear. So that's why I started with asking, why do you want to, deviate from health to, so if it's all about that you want to move into tech, that is a different conversation. So you have to find a way to, move into tech and now handle, if you can see opportunities around health projects, and that is fine because you already have such understanding.
So let me just add to what Chisom has said. So as a product owner or a product manager, I can say for free that having industry knowledge is really important. So you could explore roles within product management that are related to the pharmaceutical industry or the medical field. Because, for example, if say we're designing a what's it called, a medicine dispensing app or something like that, we would need somebody who has domain knowledge. So somebody like you would be really very important for us. You could work as a user researcher, like going to talk to people in your field, like other pharmacists who will be using that product to help us understand what their problems are. So that's actually going to be like a very important role. So what I think you should spend your time doing now is to find out what are the different roles involved in the technology industry, because there are many and varied roles. We have roles like user researchers, we have roles like product managers, we have roles like product owners, we have roles like product designers, we have roles like there's even a particular role that is called a subject matter expert, an SME. So that you could be a subject matter expert on a pharmaceutical project, and that would be your way in to get into tech. So there are so many different roles. So maybe what you should spend your time doing now is researching all the different roles. You could even look at popular pharmaceutical apps. So all the while you've been working, what apps have you used? Look for the people who developed those apps. Find out who the team members were. Or you could look at other apps that have come up recently. Try to find out more about that company. Check what that company looked like. Reach out to people on those teams on LinkedIn. See what opportunities could exist for you, like within their team, as somebody who has domain knowledge in that field. So that could be a start for you. Products are related to your field, and reach out to people who have developed that product to see what kind of roles were useful to them in developing that product, and see if you could fit into any of those roles. That could be a good start for you.
Sorry, just to add something, please. Who asked the question?
I did.
Blessing, George.
Listen, I've just dropped a link now in the chat. Have a look at sorry, that's the wrong link. Sorry, I'll drop another link now. Have a look at that link. That might help you.
Okay. Thank you very
and
much.
I just
Thank
want
you.
to chip in something, Blessing. Don't think that because your background is health, that this is abstract for you. I'll give you instances. I've seen people I've seen radiographers do UI UX very well. The first training we had on UI UX, one of the best two people that we had that did very well. One is studying, I think, radiology or something, but I know it's a medical course in UNN. So I've also worked with a seasoned pharmacist. He has to transition to a software engineer. Yes. So currently he transitioned, he's still a pharmacist, he's still working there, he's still practicing as a pharmacist, but now he's a software engineer too. So don't feel that having a medical background is a disadvantage. No, like every other person have said, ask yourself what you want, where you can fit in, and start immediately. So it's not a rocket science, it's something you can do. Yeah. Ezinne promise, please ask your question. After Ezinne, I will take Okusada and we will close for the night, please. This session is 1 hour, 30 minutes, but I can see you people are enjoying it and you people have questions. So let's just take your questions. So Ezinne and Okusada will close because I know the speakers, Eche, Gigi, and Chisum, they have a whole lot of things to do. Please, I'm sorry for taking so much of your time, please. Ezinne, please, can we hear your question? She's not saying anything. Okusada, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Actually, I want to ask that what advice do you have for someone that is just starting out? Because nobody will tell you the pain or the challenges you will face along the way. And we have heard a lot of success stories. Even these the speakers are they motivate us, but then nobody will tell you about the challenges, the pain you will face when going. Because of people that lack patience and people that can't endure. What advice do you have for people like that?
Actually, you're already smiling.
Okay. I think that generally when people talk about IT or when people say that they want to go into IT, a lot of the time they think it's a get rich quick scheme, and it's very funny because it's not MMM. It's not. So you have to be patient. Nothing good in life comes easy. Let me give you gist. Last year, when I finished my master's, I had UK job experience, but I was trying to, move to another company. If I was applying for like 30 jobs daily. Like 30 jobs daily. In fact, I went to one interview that after the man finished talking to me, I went to ask myself, is it me this man was talking? Do I really know what I was saying? Because the way that he spoke to me, so when he was asking about salary and I told him how much, and the way he answered me, it touched me. It touched me to my roots. And I remember having to go and sit down and have conversations with my friends. Again, this is a place where it's very important for you to have a good support system. I remember sitting with my friends and being like, guy, I'm losing confidence. And it took 2 of my friends who had worked with me on projects to say to me, Eche, we've worked with you. You know your stuff. Just the labor market is hard. It's hard everywhere. It's hard in Nigeria. It's hard here as well. It's hard everywhere. You just have to be persistent. See, I think Gigi gave a description. If somebody tells you that if you suffer this suffer, at the end of this suffer that you're suffering, this huge amount is waiting for you at the end, will you not hold on? So you need to, one of the things that I do or that I did when I was struggling with my own job hunting process here was that I wrote the amount that I wanted to, right? So I'm very strong on faith, I'm very strong on prayers and the rest. So I wrote the amount that I wanted to write on my wall. I had, if you look behind me, you see some sticky notes. Me and sticky notes, we are 5 and 6. I always write things. In fact, like sometimes when I'm getting to that point where, I feel like God is disappointing me, I'll remind him that, see, I wrote this thing in faith, so you cannot, do you understand? You need to look for something to hold on to. If God is the thing that you want to hold on to God, hold on to something. You have to have something that keeps you going because it is not easy for anybody at any stage. It is not easy, I promise you. It is not.
Chisom, can you please, because personally I know your experience. Can you just, say something and give him encouragement too?
Well, I think Eche also said stuffs, but the thing is, nothing good comes easy. Like we all know that, and I think your networks circle that you surround yourself also matters. Don't surround yourself with people that when you say I'm not getting this, they will say, are you sure you can do it? Like, are you sure you shouldn't try something else? Surround yourself with people that have that same goal, have that same vision as well as you. It's not easy, like Echa is saying it. And what I've also seen is the year like we came into Canada, it was the job market was much better than what it is right now. And that's still what Echa said. And we keep learning, we keep improving ourselves. I know a lot of people have asked me, oh, you're still with this company, you don't want to move. I'm like, well, let me just say, my husband is the one that can be moving, and I know it's working for me, right? It's working for me. I want to keep learning that credit system that I didn't know. I'm giving myself such a time, maybe 2 years, I can move into another project, another company, right? But what I'm just trying to say is that you need to start something, and don't be like, there won't be challenges. There will always be challenges, right? Even using my husband as an example, his first job here, it was the certification that he got that made him to kind of get that job in Canada. So, if he didn't get that certification, then he might not have gotten it here. So just start something, do something. Just don't be idle and say that, oh, there will be challenges, are you sure I can do it, and surround yourself with people that can help you, That's just what I can say.
I just want to chip in something. Even for people that are very experienced, they still have challenges. If I tell you personally, the number of rejections I've had in this UK, in fact, last year summer, there was oh God Almighty, there was an interview I went for. After that interview, I cried all night. I started asking myself, is it that I don't know what I'm doing in this country or not? Sometimes I'm like, this is me, this is so long, I don't understand. I had to even, like Eche said, I had to call some of my friends that I've worked with and be like, now, wow, how far? Am I that terrible of a programmer that these people are now, why are they talking to me like this? I don't get it. They would still encourage me and be like, Loma, no, now we know you're capable, we've worked with you, you're good, we know your skills. My brother, it's not easy anywhere, so don't give up. Once you're alive, you have to keep pushing, you have to keep trying. Even if you get 100 no, if you get no 100 times, just keep pushing, don't give up, because it can be very discouraging. It can be in fact, I told Eche that when I'm done with this, when I settle down very well, I'll come to her and meet her, let her give me her strength, because when she was gisting me her story and everything, I'm like, okay, maybe I will come so that you even, encourage me more, because it's really not easy, to be very honest. But if for instance, you're submitting 10 applications in a day, intensify it, increase it. You can start submitting 30 in a day, 40 in a day, to increase your opportunities. If your LinkedIn profile is not optimized, try and optimize it very well. Be active there. Just do something different. If your profile, as you're waiting, for instance, if your portfolio, you've not really improved it, improve it. Try and improve it so that when a recruiter or when an employer looks for you, you have something to present immediately. But I just want to encourage you that it's not easy. And some mistake, like I've said, it's a mistake people made that after boot camp, they expect immediately they finish from boot camp. I don't even know what they tell people in that boot camp said, that they'll be like, there is this job with plenty money waiting for you somewhere, that once you finish this boot camp, you just go and collect that job. My brother, it's not like that. After boot camp, you still have to improve your skill, work hard, do a whole lot of, work hard, improve yourself, and pray too. You have to pray. Maybe we are Christians and we are Nigerian, we're Africans. You have to pray too, and ask God to help us out. So yeah, it's not easy, but by God's grace, you will get whatever you're looking for.
Yeah. I
Um,
would like to add something else to it, Ulama. So I'll say to rephrase the way you look at rejections. Like we all have rejections. Um, it's part of human experience. It's part of the human experience. I would say maybe girls are not used to rejections because they've never had to check anybody. But I noticed that amongst my friends, the boys are used to rejections because apparently they've been checking girls since secondary school and they're used to getting rejections. But we girls now, we've been forming like, oh, I don't want to date you, I don't want to date you. But when you come to the real world, the jobs will tell you that they don't want to have you, they don't want to have you. So use that opportunity of getting rejections from jobs as an opportunity to reframe the way you see rejections. Use it as a form of redirection and as a learning experience. And one thing you have to bear in mind is that sometimes that a company doesn't take you on is not about you sometimes, it's about them. I mean, have been through an interview process where I have been through the last stages and I never heard from them again. And 6 months later, they come and write me one story saying that, oh, unfortunately, that there was restructuring within the organization and that role that was open, now it's no longer open. Hence, they're not able to take me on. So don't always feel like it's you that has the issue. Sometimes it might not have anything to do with you. It might just be with the company and what they are looking for at that particular point in time. So try not to take rejections personally. You should be grateful to have those rejections because it means that you're trying something. Sometimes you should give yourself, there was a time I used to give myself targets at least every week. I'm aiming for 40 rejections. So that means that you're aiming to try 40 new or more than 40 applications, because if you're looking to get 40 rejections, it means that you should have more than 40 applications. So use rejections as an opportunity to learn and to get better. Don't see it as you're not good enough. You rephrase the way you take on rejections, and also remember that sometimes it might not just be about you. But regardless, keep improving yourself and keep applying. You're better than you that you're getting rejection is better than somebody who never tried at all. So it's better for you to try and fail than for you not to try at all. Because one day you might try and you might just get it. Because like others have said, sometimes it's not even just about you and your capabilities. It might also be the grace of God that is working and you could get it.
Thank you very much, Gigi. Any other question? I think we've really, this is the first webinar I've actually exceeded 1 hour, 30 minutes. I tried to keep to time. Oh, okay, it's in the promise. Once you ask your question, we are done. Please, just ask your question.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. And I'm very, very grateful for being part of this program. So my question is this, like a few weeks ago, I was speaking with a friend and he kind of did this self-check for me. And I actually found out that, oh yes, I really love to take pictures and I can actually take good quality pictures. And he was like that probably I should go into photoshopping that is related to tech. So, but now I don't really know where to start. He also said something like, okay, from photoshopping, you can go into UI/UX design. That's like graphic design. So I don't really know where to start now. So that's basically my question. Thank you.
Anybody taking that?
Okay, let me take that. So basically what you're saying is that you're interested in graphic design because you take good pictures. So what I'll tell you to do now is to start building your portfolio. And remember, whatever we're doing in tech is not for the sake of doing tech. Whatever we're doing in tech is to solve a problem. Everything we're doing is geared towards solving a customer's problem. It's just that all these different aspects of tech come together to solve a problem for people. So graphic design, how does that come in tech? Say if somebody wants to design a website and they need a good photography. And remember, everything that happens, there's a reasoning behind it. So when people choose photography for their website or choose photography for their banners or for things, an app that you're designing, it's not just out of the blues. There's reasoning behind it. So what I would tell you to do is, if it's photography that you enjoy doing, Look for some of your favorite products that you like. Take a picture of the product. Write a story. Do this a design of that product with the pictures you've taken, and write a brief story. There's something called in product design, that's in UI UX. There's something called color. Oh my god, I've forgotten what it's called, but something has to do with colors, because each color that you see that has been used for a product, there's a story behind it. Why have these colors been chosen? There are some colors that are warm, and there are some colors that are darker or that are lighter. So you notice how anything around sustainability or food, you'll see that they tend to use color green. Or when you're looking for things around humanity or security, they use color blue. So you notice that in America, the color of the police is blue. So those kinds of things, there are reasons why people do certain things. So you can begin to take pictures of your favorite products, use different color designs and patterns, and write brief like stories behind them that, okay, this picture, you've taken this picture, you took it from this angle to highlight this about the product. You've used this color as a complement to this image that you've taken because it says this about the product. So start collecting those kinds of things about your favorite products. Small write-ups with it, so that when you walk into a room or walk into an interview, you tell and you meet people and say that you're interested in product design or graphics design. You have something to show for it. You can say, oh, I'm interested in this, and this is what I've been working on so far. Can you give me an opportunity to work with you? Look for people who are building apps. There are lots of Nigerians and lots of startups these days. You could just check out, you could sign up to Tech Cabal. Tech Cabal, they have a daily newsletter that they send out every day on tech news. Each day they talk about new startups who have just gotten investment. You can reach out to people within those startups, like on LinkedIn, and say, oh, please, can I come and work with your company for free? I just want to learn. I'm interested in graphics design. You show them that portfolio that you've been building up and say, this is a link to my portfolio. You can go on Google. You can use your Google Drive account. You open a PowerPoint presentation on Google Drive. You put up all those images. When you meet somebody, you can share the link to those images with the person and say, this is all that I've been doing. This is my portfolio. This is all I've been doing. And I'm interested in working with you. So proactive things like that is what you should be looking at doing now.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Thank you for your question, but these things that you've said now, I feel like is a bit higher for me now because I'm yet to start. Like I just said, I
But
just
do you
met
have any pictures now you've taken?
not really. I don't because my phone is not good, so I'm using my laptop for now.
So Chidi, I actually think that design is different from photography. There are two. I mean, obviously, you have an eye for, if you are good with pictures, then you probably have an eye for design. But
Yes.
there are two different things. And Uloma has done, there was a session that she did with Ugo and Sarah. Go and watch. If you go to the YouTube channel of Vision Bling, I think it's up there. Go and watch that video. You should answer all your questions.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
We've done a session on UI UX, starting a career in UI UX with Ugo and Sarah, like HS said. So you can interactive session like this. So you can actually watch that session. I think it should answer most of your questions.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Honestly, I really want to say thank you to Eche, Chisom, and Gigi. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for saying yes to me when I called you immediately without giving me any excuses. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. We are grateful. Vision Blink community, we are very grateful. I appreciate this. You people don't know how happy I feel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do you guys have anything to say? If you don't have anything to say, we can actually end the session. I actually don't want to end this session because it's so interesting. Very, very, it's so juicy.
Well, I just want to say, keep up the good work, Uloma. That's the only thing I can say here.
Yeah, well done, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for organizing it.
Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you
So
so
hopefully
much.
we'll be hearing some success stories from these webinars
Yes, because to be very honest, one issue I really have with my attendees or people that haven't been to my training, they will come, they will relax. Some of them, the first 1 week, they'll be fired up, they want to do everything, but by the time they try, they're not making headway like we've discussed here. They'll just move on with their lives. They'll just feel like this tech thing is not for me. But I think with what you've said here, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. We've said this several times. So I just hope that after this, that we'll hear testimonies from this session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I would have to end the recording here.
All right.
Okay. Have an amazing day. We have work. Tomorrow is Monday.
Yes.
We have work tomorrow. Thank you. Okay. Good night, everyone.